Hello, it's Dr. Christine Arsenault, PharmD, Functional Medicine Certified Health Coach. And sorry for the delay today. Facebook changed their live video and it wasn't compatible with my normal browser, so I had to switch things up a little bit. But hello. I wanted to talk today about things that affect our health and our healing. And some of those things are obvious things, and other ones are things that we might not think about as often as affecting our health. Um, so the first thing would be, the protocol, of course. That's the thing that people really tend to be focused on is that physical protocol and how finding that one right protocol is going to, eradicate that bacteria so they can get back to the state of health. And so that makes sense as one piece of the puzzle. But what I found is there are a lot of things that affect your health and your healing that are in your control. So even if you aren't sure if you're getting better with the exact protocol that you are on, there are things that you can be doing every day that affect your health. And it's important to really kind of assess your life and see if your practices are healing, if they're nourishing you, nurturing you, or if they're hindering your healing. And so what else do we what else is important to your health? So I think we all know that food is important and toxins in our environment as well. And different things that you ingest can affect your healing. They can be feeding the bacteria if you're eating things like sugar, or they could be having a beneficial effect on you and your gut microbiome and your nutrient levels. Food is one thing that we definitely can control that is affecting our healing. Toxins, our environment, things around us, things like mold makes healing a lot harder. A lot of people with Lyme disease do have issues with mold as well. Um, it could be heavy metals, heavy metals in your mouth or different sources. Plastics, cosmetics, there's sources of toxins all around you. So learning about those and what you put into your body and doing what you can so that you're avoiding putting more toxins in, because if you already have Lyme disease, you have different bacteria, you might have some co-infections, you might have some other bacteria and viruses and maybe mold issues or some other fungi issues. And you really don't want to be adding more toxins to that. Especially, you're probably working on your detox and taking different supplements and doing different things for that. And so you're going to get a lot further if you're not putting toxins in while you're trying to get rid of them. So that's something to be aware of as well. And then what else do we ingest? It's not just food, but what about media? What about, our social connections and maybe toxic relationships, listening to other people complain, there's different things that we ingest, our thoughts, our emotions. Those all affect our healing. And, emotions create chemical changes in our body. They change the way things work. And emotions can also be a source of pain directly by causing oxygen deprivation in your body. So having emotions that you repress can directly affect your healing. And, mindset. Your mindset is one of those things that you have to conquer every single day. And you can choose to have a healing mindset or not. So it's really up to you. You have to make that decision. And then you have to work at it and have some discipline. But your thoughts could be serving you or not serving you. And this directly affects your health. So certain genes are turned on and off by thoughts alone. So you're either helping yourself heal or you're not. You're making it harder to heal based on the thoughts that you're having. And so all of these different things that we might not think about really affect our healing. And what are you doing on a day-to-day basis to make sure that you're working towards your goals of health? And what could you be doing? What could you not be doing? What are you doing that is not helping you? And it's the small things that we do every day, the choices that we make every day that really affect our health. And we can really start to see changes if we are really aware of certain things and certain behaviors. And so it's not even just your own thoughts, but even like your perceptions, the stories that you tell yourself, as well, and finding your place in the world, and um, your perception of yourself directly affects your health. So, you might not realize how important mindset and self-love is for healing, but that's what I found. Healing was really all about that self-love and giving my body what it needed. And my body is a miracle. It's capable of healing. That's what our bodies do, is they heal. They want to get better. We have this incredible immune system that does so much for us. We just have to give our bodies the right tools. And that's including, the emotions that we have, the thoughts that we have, our environment, all of these things. All of these things that you can start doing, that you can start working on today, even if you are working with a practitioner and you have a protocol and you're having some improvement. But if you want to see more, it comes down to what you're doing every day. And there's just one study I wanted to mention that shows, how your perception of yourself can actually affect your immune system directly. This one study looking at the common colds, they exposed people to either a cold or flu virus in a controlled environment, and then they measured the viral shedding. They also measured the mucus weight, so they were weighing people's snotty tissues. And what they found was they were looking at stress and perceived socioeconomic status. So they found that greater stress, as well as lower subjective social status, made you more likely to develop a cold than those who did not perceive themselves as lower on the socioeconomic status. And also they found that people that had more social support were less likely to develop a cold. And so if you have that good social support, that community that is nourishing you and supporting you, that can directly help your immune system. And what was interesting in this study is that it was based on your perceived status, and they had like a ladder with numbers and asked you to rank yourself. And when they compared the subjective information to the objective information and just looked at your actual, income and different things like that, they didn't find any correlation. But with your perceived status, if you perceived that you were lower than others around you, you were more likely to get a cold. So I just thought that was really interesting. And, sometimes people don't get the mind-body concept. I know myself included, I'm trained as a pharmacist, so I lived in that physical world for so long that if there's something wrong with your body, you change something physically, you change the chemistry, and that'll get you back into, alignment. That's what I was trained. I just looked at the physical. But in my own healing is when I really realized how much the mind and the soul plays a part. And it wasn't until I really explored those areas that I actually made some improvements. And so sometimes it's hard for people to say. They're like, oh yeah, just think positive, that's gonna help everything. And it's not about like just thinking positive and repressing your feelings. You don't want to repress. You do have to feel down when you're down and let that transmute. But it's about having the discipline, being aware of your mindset, being aware of those thoughts, not believing all of your thoughts, realizing thoughts come and go, not giving them attention if they don't serve you, and just realizing that your thoughts can have a direct impact on your immune system, on your genes. And so you have to conquer that mindset every damn day. Every damn day, you have to decide if you're going to be healing or getting worse. And if you can conquer your thoughts, if you can start becoming aware of your thoughts and change your daily habits, you're going to start seeing results in the other things that you are doing on the physical level. But if you're only focused on the physical, you're missing the mind, you're missing the soul. Well, that's, over 60% that you're missing. So you're not going to get far if you're just focused on the protocol. So I hope that gave you something to think about, and hope you have a wonderful day.